Hey guys, welcome in the Sportscast here. The whole gang is here tonight, and we're jumping on here to talk about Week 2 NFL preview. But first, before we get started, we have to do a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. All right, guys, let's get into the sports. Week 2, we just had the Packers and Commanders game last night, and man, I tell you what, this Packers team looks something fierce. And I know a lot of people, you're a homer, you're a Packers fan. I'm keeping it real. I've heard it from a lot of people. We pretty much dominated the Commanders last night. It was 17-3 for most of the game to the fourth quarter. Anybody watch the game last night?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. I forgot it was on, really, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, there's Thursday night." But yeah, a little bit. And then I caught the highlights, basically.
Yeah. Greg, you watched it last night?
Yeah, I watched part of it before I laid down.
Yeah, I stayed up late. I got about 4 hours sleep. Totally worth it. Watch team dominate. The defense has been fantastic. At the end of the game, Packer fans are chanting, "Thank you, Jerry," for giving us Micah Parsons. He's been an absolute beast, and he's taken this defense to another level. Now, I thought we were going to be good on defense. We were top 10 last year, but Micah Parsons just take us to a whole nother level. So I got to give us Packer fans need to send Jerry a gift basket because I love it. But let's preview. I could talk Packers all day, but let's preview the top games of the Week 2 in the NFL. As obviously, I think last night was one of them. Obviously, everyone's looking forward to that. But the top games this week, and one of them, in my opinion, right off the bat here, has got to be the Super Bowl rematch. Right? You got the Eagles traveling to Kansas City. Kansas City is looking to bounce back after they lose to the Chargers on the road. The Eagles are looking to continue their dominance in their winning ways. They dominated the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year. I think the Chiefs, we talk about it all year. They don't light the world on fire in the regular season, but next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl again. So Eagles look good week 1. They missed their best defensive player against Dallas, but they still got the job done. Who do you guys got winning this game and why?
Go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
I didn't like how Philadelphia looked. Either that or Dallas is going to be better than what they anticipated because they move the ball up and down the field kind of at will. I think the rain delay hurt both teams. I don't think, just like in baseball, when you have a long delay like that, when the teams come back, not a lot of offense happens. So I think that's why the scoring kind of ceased and didn't continue. But boy, if Dallas can do that, I don't think having one guy on the defensive line is going to change that outcome. They lost a lot of guys on defense, like 12 guys they lost on defense, and I think it showed. So I think Mahomes kind of can have his way now. In saying that, they have a walking wounded wide receiver room. They're very thin at wide receiver. Kareem Hunt didn't do much in the backfield. But I still think Kansas City has enough to get it done.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that I think Kansas City might actually have an edge slightly. I don't really think. I don't know. I don't think they played very well in the game, the first game of the season. So I don't know. People were kind of making a big deal about that, and so I'm not quite sure. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think I kind of give the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this game. I just think that it's a little bit for them to lose 2 straight would be kind of weird. It would be interesting, but it would also kind of it would be buzzworthy, I think, for the Chiefs to lose another game. I think people will talk about it more. People were already talking about them losing to the Chargers. So I think it's a kind of similar. I think it's a close game. I think the Chiefs somehow pull it off at the end, kick a field goal, something like that.
I think I got the Eagles winning this game. It's gonna be tough. I think the I don't know. Something was weird with me with the
It's
Eagles.
a weird game.
Both these teams look a little weird in the first game. Chiefs started off slow, and the Eagles, Craig, the wide receivers didn't look great. AJ Brown had 1 catch. Saquon didn't really have a good game. We talked about it as a game the Cowboys should have won. The secondary for the Eagles got routed. I mean, it's just something's weird about these two teams right now. But I think the defense will get the edge for the Eagles in this one. It's hard to beat the Chiefs at home. They're going to miss Xavier Worthy for some time with his injury that Travis Kelce ran the wrong depth route and ran into his own player. So we'll see what happens. But I got the Eagles winning this one and going 2-0, and then the Chiefs starting 0-2. And then you're going to get the rhetoric of, are the Chiefs going to make the playoffs, and all that jazz. But we'll go from there. If I'm looking at the other games this week, I think, let's see. I think Bills Jets. I think that's got to be in your top 5 this week. The Bills had a great game against the Ravens last week as they bounced back and won. And the Jets, we talked about it on Tuesday, Craig, that Jets shocked us against the Steelers. They came out. They came to play. They were up. They let the lead go. But Justin Fields had a great showing, and this team looks to be a little bit better than what we thought they'd be. And I really like what Aaron Glenn stands for. Okay, at the end of the game, he benched a player, and he said, "If you're not going to help us win, you're going to help us. You're going to cost us. You're going to cost us the game or cost us points. You're not going to play." And there was a play where it was a kick returner who ran down the sideline, and he tripped and fell, and then he dropped the ball. No one touched him. He thought he was down. He dropped the ball, which was a fumble, but the Jet guy behind him jumped on it, and he benched that guy this game and said, we're not going to make those dumb mistakes. You're going to be held accountable. I really like what Aaron Glenn's doing there in New York, the mindset he's bringing in. So we'll see if he can change that culture. I've probably got the Bills in this one, but I think it's a lot closer than what most people think. What do you guys?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a true test to see if what we saw last week is real from Justin Fields, because that's a much better defense than what Pittsburgh put on the field last week, and clearly Allen can put up points. So you're going to have another 30-plus point performance, or else you're going to get blown out, and that's what Justin Fields does. So I want to see the defense play better under Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a defensive-minded head coach, and I want to see the Jets defense play better.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to this game, I trust the Bills in this. I don't know. I don't. There's something about the Jets. I don't know if it's just Justin Fields. I don't know if it's just like what that means in terms of this game. But I think that the Jets are not gonna win this game. I think that the Bills have a good chance. I would like to see the Bills or the Jets have a better defense, play better. But I agree with Craig on that one. But I just think that the Bills are just on a different level.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of competitiveness, in terms of toughness, in terms of, grit and fight. And the Jets are so far from them in this game. I think it's one of those games where you're just like, it's kind of, everybody kind of knows what will go down, unless it's something shocking. I mean, the NFL does weird stuff.
It would be an any given Sunday shocker if the Jets pulled that off. Where is it? Is it in New York or is it in Buffalo?
It's probably a home game no matter what, right?
New York.
No, that helps a little bit.
So, we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday about, the Jets shocked us. The Steelers defense wasn't too promising, right? They kind of let up a lot more than what you would expect against the Jets. And is that more of the Steelers defense? Or is that more of the Jets offense actually looking great? Not great, but pretty dadgum good. So we'll see. I'm interested to see that one. Another one that's interesting to me is where is it at? Where'd it go? It's the Lions-Bears. And I say that because of this, and it may not be a very entertaining game. The Lions got manhandled against Packers week 1, didn't look pretty good. The Bears lost to a quarterback who didn't play for 3 quarters and lost at home, and they get booed out of their own stadium week 1. I think this is Dan Campbell's calling this a must-win for the Detroit Lions. If the Detroit Lions start the season off 0-2, there's going to be a lot of fans hitting the panic button because the coordinators are gone. We talked about it all offseason, and the offense looked abysmal against the Packers. And was that the offense? Was that the coordinators? Was that Green Bay's defense? Whatever it may be. But I think you got 2 teams here that are really desperate to keep up because, you lose too many games in this division, then you're finding yourself in a quite a big hole here. I think the Lions do win at home. I'm not a big believer in Caleb Williams, and he made some dumb mistakes week one. And I got the Lions here to bounce back. Unfortunately, I'd rather have the Bears win this one in the division. But who do you guys got?
Well, I think the Lions have an axe to grind. Ben Johnson's the head coach. They want to hang 50 on this guy because he left them, and not only he left them, but he left him to go to a team in the division and has had rave reviews about Caleb Williams, and that I'm going to go and I'm going to do all these things with Caleb and all these things that he said that he wanted to do in Detroit, and then now he's over in Chicago, and now this is his dream team,
his welcome back.
And so I think the Lions' goal is to hang as many points as they possibly can and go, well, let's see if your offense does that. We don't need you to run our offense. Our offense is just fine without you. And then add in the week one loss to the Packers where they look abysmal. Yeah, I think they come in with an axe to grind.
I'm going to kind of go with the Lions on this one. I didn't like what I saw from Caleb Williams. I still don't think they're I don't know. I don't think they're close. It could kick off like mid-season with them, but I just don't. I think the Lions they're in a better position. I think in terms of what happened week one when it comes to the Lions, especially with the Packers, that just could be maybe the Packers are better than the Lions in that situation. But in this situation, I think the Lions are better than the Bears. I just I don't trust the Bears. And again, until we're proven wrong, there's not a lot of confidence in that team. I guess you can't sit there and go, man, I'm really gonna bet some money on this one. Like, all right, it's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So,
yeah, I'm not betting the house on the Bears anytime soon.
No.
I watched that game the other night, and I went to bed, and I woke up, and I was like, the Vikings won, the Bears choked. Out of that, it's not that surprising, but wow, and they booed the Bears out of the stadium, so it's kind of funny. But Ben Johnson coming back home, Lions are going to boo him. You see the players make comments about Ben Johnson, and I saw a fan say, "Hey, he gave you guys a lot of success, and this is how you feel." And Dan Campbell, not Dan Campbell, but St. Brown was like, "Love the guy, but the moment he went to a different team, it's him against us, and F him." And that's the way it should be. So we'll see. We'll see, Ryan. The gambler Jerry is back. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for jumping on.
What's up?
You're
man?
right. He gambled your defensive future away and made us better. I like it, but we'll see. The only thing that's going to help you is if those draft picks turn into something. But anyways, that's a whole different conversation. Ryan's trying to throw in.
Appear to be 31 and 32.
Yeah. Let's hope so. 30. Let's hope so.
Because.
Yeah, let's hope so. And well, the conversation about the game on the fan was: are you rooting for the better draft pick? Or are you rooting for the Packers to win for your division? And I'm like, let's be real. The Packers are always a good football team for the most part. You're going to have a late round pick, so you better root for your division to lose. I mean, let's be real. So, and we helped you out with that. So thank you. Vikings, Falcons, Sunday Night Football. Yeah, I saw that. I just wasn't throwing it up there. Vikings, Falcons.
I'm throwing it up there.
Yeah, you throw it up there. It's okay, Brian. It's okay, buddy. You make an NFC Championship game and then come talk to me. Falcons, Vikings, Sunday Night Football. Craig, I thought McCarthy showed a great fourth quarter against the Bears. I mean, there was not much to it other than that. He looked, at times looked like he was lost a little bit. What'd you think of his debut, and do you think they're going to beat the Falcons on Sunday night?
I thought the debut was exactly what I've been saying it was going to be for the entire time he's been in the league, and that's that I believe the NFL is going to be too fast for him. And the first pass he throws, a touchdown, was a pick six in the other direction because the guy absolutely jumped the route because JJ does what JJ does and stared the wide receiver down and went, "There's nobody else around but that guy." and he threw it to him, and everybody in the stadium knew he was going to throw it to him, and the guy ran the route. He looked better in the fourth quarter. We'll see if that is the head coach dumbing it down or whatever you want to call it and simplifying the playbook, or if the light went off and he's going to be okay. The Falcons defense looked good in week one. The Falcons over as a whole look good in week one. I'm interested to see if Penix can keep the momentum going. Drake London's a little banged up, so that'll be, if he can't go, kind of a game time deal. If he can't go, that would be a big loss for Atlanta. Make them a little more one dimensional. And if you can focus on just Bijan, then maybe it slows it down a little bit. But no, I think it'll be an interesting game to watch to see what JJ looks like. Does it take him? Does he have another slow start? Does he pick up where he had in the fourth quarter and put some points on the board? I'm very interested to watch this year develop for JJ and see what he can do and what he looks like, because he's a great kid. I just don't know if the skill set transfers to the NFL. It was really good in college. I just don't know if it's good enough to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm interested to see him because he's in my division. If he does good, I owe him an apology to her because I've not been very high on him. But I'm more interested about Penix Jr. on the other side of the ball. I thought he played pretty good last year. The starts he had, he looked great week one, making throws, making plays with his feet, getting big first downs, keeping his team in it. And if it wasn't for the missed field goal that we talked about, they might have won that football game. So I think the Falcons go on the road here and win. It's McCarthy's first primetime game Sunday night. Being at home will help him a little bit. I think McCarthy's got to get on a rhythm with Justin Jefferson. They didn't seem like their timing was down the other night, not getting him the ball as much as he probably wanted. And the ball went right through his hands, something you don't see. I'm like, what's going on here? But I got Falcons winning this one. I think they got a better, not a better defense, but defense is pretty solid. And I just think the quarterback position with the weapons is good. Hopefully Drake London can go. Don't want to see injuries, but I got the Falcons winning this one. Jeff, what do you think about this game and who's coming out on top?
This is a weird game. You have these two young quarterbacks. Obviously, you got, and not young quarterback. You have these guys that are just, these are kind of really strange teams because it's like there's not really like a for sure answer here. But I kind of like the Falcons in this game mainly because I hear, I'm not too familiar with JJ McCarthy, but I hear Craig talk about him, and so I kind of. I looked up a couple of things, and I think you have something there when you're talking about the speed of the game. You're talking about the, how will it translate from college to this, and will he pick it up or not? It's kind of that's the tried and true thing with college quarterbacks coming into the NFL. Obviously, is speed. So, I just think the Falcons are a little bit tougher for them in this game, but not by a lot. Because I don't even think the Falcons are in a great position either. So it's kind of it's a strange game, so to speak. But I got the Falcons on their slight edge. But yeah.
The fifth game, there's not a whole lot of great, amazing games. You got the Cowboys-Giants, which Cowboys usually dominate the Giants. And when Russell Wilson's playing, they probably ain't winning. So
yeah.
I kind of want to go to the Bucks-Texans maybe here. We're still looking for that C.J. Stroud of 2 years ago where he came out and light the world on fire. And they didn't play all that well last week. The Texans didn't. They didn't protect the football. Actually, they punched the ball. The Rams punched the ball out, and that's how they won the football game. The Bucks played a great game last week against the Falcons. Tough fought. Baker threw the ball all over the field. This is a game to me, though, that I think the Texans really need. We talked about sophomore slump last year with Stroud. He did okay, but not what the level we talked about. And this year, not so great to start off. So I think they need a win here. The Houston Texans will do that. It seems like they'll get the momentum. They'll have a good team, and they're like, oh man, this team is really good. And then it just falls off a cliff here, and you just hope it's not going in the other direction for this fan base and franchise. I know it's just week one here, but C.J. Stroud has got to go back to that rookie quarterback that was lighting it up for them. They have a good defense. It's hard to go against Baker right now. Baker, what he did last season, if that's the kind of Baker Mayfield we're getting this year, I'm going with the Bucks on the road. Just Baker Mayfield's on a different level right now. They added Mbuka in the offseason. He had 2 touchdown passes in week 1 as a rookie. I wanted him in Green Bay. That's why I wanted him, because he's good. But I got the Bucks here winning on the road. Craig, what you got on this? And we see that vintage CJ Stroud or
Yeah, I was excited to see what the Texans looked like last week. I kept a very close eye on that game, and I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for the offense to flow, and it never did. They looked like those were 11 guys that they picked up out of the parking lot of the sand lot that were running around playing flag football and as a pickup game. They just did not look like they were on the same page. He's overthrowing guys, he's underthrowing guys running the wrong routes. No, absolutely, and I believe this is a huge part of it, but there's no running game. They have 0 running game, so they're very one-dimensional. It basically teams are so not scared of the run that they can just pin their ears back and play pass all day long. And if the running back does break a little bit, they're like, got him, a couple yards. All right, no big deal. There's just no real threat. It's and then once they get behind, obviously they constantly have to throw, and it's just been a horrible game plan. And
9 points last week. 9.
Yeah, just very, very lethargic. And Baker, a little bit of a gunslinger. Don't like that, but yeah, I would definitely say that the Bucks have all the momentum and all the hype coming into this game if they can keep that offense rolling with all those weapons they got and everything like that. I just think it's a not one-sided, but I think the Bucks have the advantage right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bucks. I just think that I think offensively they're in a better position than so far from what we've seen versus what's going on with the Texans offense. Just because I think Baker is, he's got some weapons, and I think maybe he's even having fun. So I think he's playing kind of like, what do we have to lose? You know what I mean? It's one of those teams where it's like, what do we have to lose? So I think right now they're kind of exciting. Who knows how the season goes, but I think the Texans are just there's something off. It's coaching, obviously. When you have guys missing routes, when you have players not connecting, miscommunications, things like that, I kind of go to coaching on that one. And their head coach is a defensive minded coach, so he's not too focused on the offense too much. But you kind of leaves that up to the OCs. But like I don't know if they lost anybody last year or not to head coaching positions, but something's got off, and I think it has a lot to do with chemistry, coaching, that kind of thing. It's obvious when you start missing guys, or guys are going the wrong route, they're not knowing the play. You kind of have to fault the coaching on that one. So, but I think in terms of both teams, the Buccaneers are offensively way better so far in this game. I do worry about Craig brought up the gunsling and stuff. I worry about that with the Texans defense a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know. Because I still believe the Texans have a pretty, they're going to have good defense in the end. But
yeah, and they held the Rams to 14 points. Yeah. Rams defense is pretty good, but Houston Texans offensive coordinator is a guy named Nick Cayley. Never heard of him. Last year, he was hired this year in February.
I thought they got a new one in the offseason.
Yeah. Bobby Slowick was their previous one, so I think, and I 100% believe this, that the sport that relies most on coaching is the NFL. The schemes, how they all the play calling, the schemes and everything is all 100% on. You got to have a good play calling. You got to have you got to be relevant with your offense and your defense and all that good stuff. So they can hurt you and they can help you. And that's we thought the Lions were going to drop off a little bit this year, and we'll see if they get that together out there. Cowboys going through a whole coaching change that could hurt the team a little bit in the beginning, but you gain some momentum and going forward. Speaking of coaching changes, that's it for me for the top 5 games of the week. But speaking of coaching changes, number 1 coach on the hot seat is McDaniels from Miami Dolphins. As last week he gets obliterated by the Indianapolis Colts. The team has already called a players-only meeting in week 2. it's time to hit the panic button if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, and he is on the hot seat. I don't think he makes it out of this season. And
how crazy is that? People were actually like, this is a McVay situation. This is an exciting up and coming coach. Like,
I was one of them.
Fine. Yeah. I mean, it was all like, gumdrops and lollipops. Like everybody was acting, like this guy was, we had this ascending crew of coaches that were now going to be the Bill Belichick's of the world. And
I mean, I thought Miami was going to rule the East for years. And
what's interesting to me, and I think, did he get a fair shake? Because a lot of times, the head coach is correlated with how good your quarterback is, right? Mm-hmm. And I know, Craig, I was right there with you. I thought McDaniels was going to be a good head coach.
I mean, he had no
quarterback.
I mean, Skyler.
When's the last time
Thompson or whatever his name is not the answer?
When's the last time Tua played a full season?
Well, he's died 3 times on the field, so I'm not really sure.
So that's my argument there, and maybe he leaves Miami and goes somewhere else. I think he'll get another shot somewhere, I think that team might luck into a great head coach, or maybe he goes to OC somewhere, and But I just don't think he's had a fair shake because of the injured quarterback position, and that's tough. It's tough. Because he's not the macho man head coach like Mike Vrabel, or he's like the more nerdy guy. And he looked like he was a Sean McVay, like it was going to work out. And I just don't think he had a fair shake there. So I'm hoping another team gives him another chance. He won't make it. If he makes it the whole year, it's because Miami doesn't care about winning and whatever.
Wants to draft the next quarterback to replace Tua.
Yeah, and they'll move on. But I just don't think he's in Miami at the end of the season, and it's hard to hold on to a locker room, right? It's hard to keep their attention. You got Tyreek Hill wanting out. He said he's out of here last year. Then he makes up with the quarterback, and after week one, he's arguing again on the sidelines, and he's got 8 accounts of domestic violence against him. This man can't keep his life together over here, but. He's a cancer in the locker room, in my opinion, but it's just not looking good for Miami. And if already in week 2 you're calling a players meeting, that means I think the head coaches have lost the locker room, and the players are trying to find motivation from within themselves because the head coaching staff is not getting it done.
Last week was pretty brutal. It was hard to watch.
And the crazy part is when you have stuff like that happen, like what happened in the Miami game. You have people coming out and going, man, New York messed up by getting rid of that guy. And I was just like, can we not do that? Like, really? We're going to sit there and make it seem like, oh, man, the Giants really messed up. Like, they didn't know what they had. I'm like,
Danny Dimes is not a good football quarterback. I mean,
well,
let's not.
Well, we're playing him this week, so we'll see how good he is. I mean, we had 6 sacks the last game, so.
But here's the $1 million question of the week. We're about to find out if Kyle Shanahan really is a quarterback whisperer, because
I was getting right into that.
Because he has
Mac Jones, baby.
I want Tom Brady to be my dad Jones over there to lead the way, and if he turns Mac Jones into a stud, then we know that anybody can go and quarterback that for team. Kyle Shanahan and be okay, because between Mac Jones being the quarterback and half the offense being decimated, no real wide receivers other than Pearsall, and your tight end is out for at least a month on IR. The injury bug has again infected itself in San Francisco's locker room, and we'll see what kind of tricks Shanahan has up his sleeve this week.
Now, rumor was that Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones, and they didn't go with him. So maybe this is his second go around with him. I don't know. We'll see. He's got great play calls, and if anybody can do it, it's him. I feel bad for them, though, because Brock Purdy injury. When your quarterback goes out, you feel like your whole season's gone, and it happened to Dallas last year. I don't like Dallas, but I don't ever want to see that happen to a team because your whole season's gone. And so it sucks. We'll see if they can stick together. Brock Purdy's out, 2 to 5 weeks with the turf toe?
Yeah, a
So-
variation of turf toe.
So it sucks for the 49er fans. Only way we can take it, being NFC fans, is, they drop down in the standings and maybe they don't beat me in the playoffs this year. How about that? But they also got rid of their kicker after the first game of the season.
Who has
like,
now
ouch.
signed with the Chicago Bears practice squad.
Nice. Love it. You can go over there and miss kicks.
That's
Just fantastic.
the irony of that alone. The Bears are struggling to find their own kicker, and they go and get the troubled San Francisco reject.
The Cowboys-Giants, Craig, the only thing I'm watching for in this game is the Giants' defensive line. That's the good thing. That's the only good thing about the Giants is their defensive line. And maybe Neighbors if they can get them the ball, but that's a whole different story.
Which didn't do a lot last week.
No. Everyone's calling it for them to sit Russell Wilson. He looked god-awful last week for their backup. And if I'm the quarterback, Dayball's number 2 on head coaching,
he's
right
1A.
there. Yeah, he's 1B over here on the way out of. I'm like, why not put Jackson Dart in and shoot for the stars?
I honestly never thought that. I didn't think that this season. I just don't think Russell Wilson finishes the season with the Giants. I don't.
I'm not sure he finishes this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll play, but it's like, but he's not good. Like, I don't know what happened after he left. I mean, maybe it was Pete
after
Carroll,
he left. After he left Seattle. Yeah. That drop off needs to be studied. I mean,
it is a massive drop.
That or Pete Carroll has QB eyes and could see the handwriting on the wall and said it's time. He's gone as far as we've gone as far as Russell can take us and get rid of him. And boy, he just fell right off a cliff.
Cowboys win this one easily, and if they don't win this one, then we're having a meltdown. And
Jerry World's going to be on fire.
Yeah, it will. This is a game that you win.
Dak has never lost to the Giants.
Bad injury news for Green Bay and the Redskins, the Commanders. Green Bay's wide receiver Jalen Reed breaks his collarbone on a beautiful pass. I don't know if y'all saw it. Beautiful pass, caught for a touchdown, gets called back from a holding, comes up, the guy lands right on his shoulder. He breaks his collarbone. He'll be out. They're hoping he comes back in November at some point. And then Eckler, I watched it happen. I was like, yep, there goes his Achilles. He's out for the rest of the season. So they just lost their best running back, or one of their best running backs there. And
Bill might have something to say about that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm just interested, man. I'm trying not to get too hyped, but the Packers look amazing right now. So I'll take it.
Health.
Yes.
And health.
Yes.
If you do not have healthy towards the end, it does not matter.
You know what sucks? We got our freaking bye week in like week 4 or 5. Week 5. I'm like,
the worst.
We got to go freaking 12 games straight. Yeah, it's terrible. I hate the early buys. Yeah. I hate it.
We have a late bye.
Nice. Well, do we have any other football news? We hit it on the 40-minute mark here. We have any other football news we want to get into? Any other game that we might not have talked about that you guys are just thriving to talk about?
Let's see.
Broncos should beat up on the Colts.
We can talk about that for a second.
Unless Danny Dimes is for real.
Yeah, unless Danny Dimes goes off. If Danny Dimes goes off on Denver, I'm going, holy moly, what do the Giants do?
If that happens, I'm questioning the defense at that point.
Yeah, I still wouldn't credit Danny Dimes. It'd be like, this is a fluke. Something's going on here.
There would be a 70-point Denver Bronco defense on against Miami game. Like, I don't know. I just think this is, I don't know. The defense is going to do well. Man, had six different players had sacks.
Gosh.
So, I went back and looked at that game, by the way, and I don't even know if I've talked about it or not, but I went back and looked at that game, and the defense is just too fast. Like, those guys coming off the edges are so quick. There is literally no time to throw the ball for these guys. And I'm like, I felt bad. I was just like, man, the moment he turns around, there's an orange jersey right there. And then he kind of maneuvered out of the way and avoided a sack. And the moment he turned to maneuver, there's an orange jersey right there. And I'm like, wow, dude, like, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Like, it was wild. And I was worried about that game because I'm like, this guy could run. Like, He's probably going to be hard to sack. And he was at first. That first half, he was very difficult for the Broncos defense to sack. And they kind of looked not great. But then that second half, it was pretty bad for
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. It was pretty bad. I was like, you're not going to win this game.
I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him. He tried. His wide receivers were dropping balls all over the place. I'm like, gosh,
well, but
dude.
you got to understand. Yes, they dropped the balls, but wonder why. You have pressure throws. I don't know how many times. I think they said net yardage in the second half was -2 yards.
Gosh,
-2 yards. They got penalty. I mean, they were a very penalty hungry team that game for sure. They committed a lot.
Dude.
But ultimately, I mean, I think in this game, Denver takes out the Colts. I just don't see it. Would be very odd unless we can't stop the run, which a little bit of a problem. But the only thing that worries me is the running back. I don't know. The running back's pretty decent.
I can't wait till we play each other, Jeff. If our defense plays like they have been playing, your defense plays, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a very low scoring game, Brian.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's been a while since I've felt this great about my defense, so I'm a little giddy on it.
I'm all about defenses, so that's my thing. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather see some great defensive plays, and some people are like, man, I want to see blowout games or 40 to whatever, and it's like, I just don't. It's fun, but it's over. Some of those, if it's a blowout, it's over, and you're like, well, now I'm bored. And then you're like, we're gonna win, and then if it's like back and forth, then it's like, this isn't. Like, this sucks. Like, what? Like, hopefully we make a play the next drive. Like, I think defenses, it's always just, I don't know. I just like it. I think that's the old school part of me is like, I just like it's, even though you can't hardly hit anybody half the damn time. So, and also I am going to bring this up because it is a little bit frustrating. I did see this in the Cowboy game with the Eagles. I thought it was kind of weird.
Or what?
You can't celebrate when you make plays now. You can't flex in front of someone, or you can't stand a certain way, or okay.
It's a taunting thing, and I thought it was Cottonelle soft that you can, now it's the more of a the standing over someone and like trying to get a reaction from them type of thing. But
it's like, dude.
Yeah.
But when you get a touchdown, when you get a touchdown, you can choreograph the whole thing.
Or an interception. They're all like, the whole bench, come on, baby, we're going to come down here and do
they all pose.
The Macarena. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was dumb, yes.
It was so dumb. And also, Dak did spit at somebody, so I find it interesting how the league didn't catch that one. So, he hocked to it first.
He hocked to it.
The other thing, also, what's the deal with the Patrick Mahomes getting hit?
Are we going rapid fire?
Just rapid fire, yeah. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. What a BS move that is, and I hope he gets blasted every time he goes to the freaking sideline. I'll tell the guy, I'll take the 15-yard. You blast him. That was such a BS move. I'm not going to say the B word on here live, but such a B move, Patrick Mahomes. To lower you're going out of bounds, you're going to lower your shoulder because you know he can't touch you, and you lay him out like that, like you're all tough. Get the F out of here, man.
You see the defender kind of hold back because he's like, oh, he's going out of bounds, and then here comes Mahomes, like, and I'm like, okay, Mahomes, okay.
Last year it was
he fake slid.
They let up, and he put his foot in the ground and went around the guy for another 12 yards.
Yeah, he fake slid, and I'm like, you dude, stop. Stop it.
I'm telling my defense at least one time in the first quarter something, you blast him on the out of bounds. Blast him.
I'm telling you right now, we played him twice. He's going to get blasted.
Blasted.
For sure.
That was such a BS move, dude.
And
I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm sure it's going to be Nick Bonito just right on him, dude. Like, he's going to get blasted in that game. Yeah. In both games, actually.
Gosh, dude.
Hey, easy.
What?
Hey.
Watching the Redskins or the Commanders, whatever you want to call them, try and double and triple team Micah Parsons and still see him get to the quarterback. Thing of beauty. God, it's a thing of beauty.
Somebody was, I think they had a video.
Just wait a few weeks. The Energizer
wait till December.
The Energizer Bunny will run out of
Yeah, that's
Well,
the
I'm
only thing that
hoping-
I'm
I'm
a little
hoping-
worried about. Actually.
I'm hoping since he's not
Teddy
playing every
Ruxpin will lose
he's not
battery.
playing every snap, you know.
Yeah, I
that,
did see that. He's not. Yeah.
that. So
Was he playing every snap in Dallas? There's no way.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because he had camp
on
when he
defense,
was
yeah.
in Dallas, but
Yeah, he's not. He didn't come in football shape, and he got the back injury. But the first game he had 40. He played 45%, and he had 1 sack and 3 pressures that led to an interception on 45%.
in that
Right?
in that game against the Titans, Benito had 9 pressures.
Insane.
Just Benito. I'm like,
see, and that's insane. What people don't get, some people don't get, is it allows for everyone else to eat. Because they got to. So, for instance, Luca Van Ness last year through 7 games had 4 pressures through 6 games combined. The first game against the Lions with Micah Parsons, he had 4 pressures in one game when he had 4 over 7 last year. Like, that's the difference. We're getting home with Van Ness. We're getting home with Gary. We're getting home with 4 and covering everyone. Jaden Daniels had nowhere to throw the football last night. Nowhere. And then when he did, we had one player, Nixon, who had 6 pass breakups. So even when they caught it, Nixon's bumping it. I'm like, dude, all out defensive game, man. And then
no one even
Jordan
throws
Love,
to Pat Surtain. I looked at the game and I'm like, the one time they threw against him, yeah, nothing. They batted it out. I was like, okay.
Same
they
thing
don't even
with
try to go to him. I'm like, that's
same thing with McKinney. McKinney last year had all those interceptions, and now they don't even throw him the ball towards him.
That's
and I'm
good,
like,
though.
That's great. And
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, well, he didn't do anything. No, he shut down a whole side of the football field.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we can go on. We can go on forever, Jeff. About both our defenses looking really good right now.
Craig, it'll be okay.
Yeah, Deron Bland out against the Giants. That's not good. That's your best.
2 weeks with the same foot injury he had that landed him in IR last year.
Yeah, that's not good. All right, guys. Well, we're almost the hour mark, so that's all right. At some point, we might need to jump on here and do some. We're getting really close to the baseball pennant race there. One of the closest I've ever seen in baseball.
Appreciate the help from the Rangers tonight. Good looking.
You're welcome. We'll continue it. We've won like 15 of the last 18.
For the next 2 days, I'm a Ranger fan.
And then we come back, play the Astros. We could catch the division if we sweep them. So I'm hoping, man.
That's
I'm
one
hoping.
of those weird series, Brian.
Man.
Where you're like, oh man, we're gonna come in here and take care of business, and the Astros just pull a Houdini act, and you're like, what the?
Yeah, Garcia's coming back for this series or that series, and he kills the Astros. So I'm hoping he continues that, but we shall see. We shall see. All right, guys. Well,
weird sport.
It is. Great show, guys, tonight. Come join us live on the Sportscast on YouTube. Jeff, continue with the great shorts, and we'll continue putting out content. All right, 2 shows a week, shorts in between, everything going good, and getting ready for football season. Week 1 in the books, week 2 in the books for me. Now I get to sit back on Sunday and just enjoy football. And let's go Rangers. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. God bless, and remember,
Keep it
Outspoken.